This is the story of Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin was born more than 300 years ago. Benjamin Franklin was born in a house on Milk Street in Boston. Benjamin Franklin has invented the Franklin stove and the lightning rod. Benjamin Franklin invented the swimming panels which would help him swim. When Benjamin was born on January 17th, America was not a country. Ben lived in Boston. Ben's face is on the $100 bill. Ben wasn't a vegetarian for his entire life. First, Ben was working in a candle shop. The candle shop was his father's. The father owned the candle shop. But Ben was bored, and he wanted a job that let him use his mind. And he wanted to become a sailor. Unfortunately, one of Ben's older brothers had been lost at sea, so his father didn't approve of sailing as a trade for Ben. And after 2 years in the candle shop, Ben's father finally decided Ben try a different trade. And Ben's father took him to walk to the city. Ben liked reading books, so he could work at his older brother's printing press. And a printing press is a machine that is used to print pictures or words on the paper. At 12 years old, Ben was hopeful this would be a job he would enjoy, so off he went. Ben learned his job at the printing press quickly. He enjoyed setting up the printing blocks to put inked letters on paper, but what he really wanted was to write. Ben sometimes wrote poetry and stories in his free time, but he knew his brother wouldn't print them. His brother James mostly printed newspapers, essays, and posters. But James thought Ben was too early so he could publish his stories. So Ben wrote stories, and he put a fake name that belonged to a fake woman, Silence the Good. And he wrote many stories and put it under the printing shop's door before it opened. And James published them. But when Ben told James that he was the name Silence, then James got really mad at him. And James boarded a ship and headed on. And he sailed from Boston to New York City on a ship. And then the governors told Ben that he would loan money for him to buy the printing press. But Ben just needed to go to London and take the printing press and bring it to Philadelphia. And Ben but when he got there, then the money for the printing press wasn't there. And Ben didn't have any money now. He needed to get a work. He got a work, and on his free time, he swam and got jobs in the printing and got a job. In his free time, he swam, which earned him a place in the Swimming Hall of Fame. And when Ben arrived back in Philadelphia, he started working for Thomas Benham right away. And soon he had enough money to finally open his own print shop. Only after a year opening, he began publishing his own newspaper. He called it the Pennsylvania Gazette. Ben's newspaper was full of firsts. And Ben made his own volunteer fire company, which worked to get fires out of the buildings. And Ben had a big idea. He invented a Franklin stove, and then he had an experiment. When there was thunder and lightning, Ben took the kite and flew it and put a metal key in there. And he put his hand too close to the metal key, and he got an electric shock. And Ben thought that lightning would have electricity. And after that experiment, Ben had an idea for an invention that would keep lightning from causing house fires. He figured out that if a metal rod was put at a building's highest point, the lightning would hit that instead of the roof. This chapter is called The Revolution. And Ben was right. By the time he arrived in Philadelphia, the revolutionary war had started between England and the colonies. It was a revolution. And over here, this chapter is called Ben Aboard Again. And the fight against England wouldn't be easy. France helped out in a big way with money, troops, ships, and weapons. All-powerful British army surrendered. America had won. Ben missed his family and wanted to head home, but Congress asked him to stay in France. Its members knew that it would be the best person to to work out a peace agreement. Ben thought he would be coming back home to a quiet retirement. When his boat docked at Market Street, where he had started off as a runway at age 17, he got a big welcome. There were so many people. And America had become its own country, the United States, with many thanks to Ben. The people of Pennsylvania elected Ben as the governor to lead them through this time of new beginnings. They also asked him to be a delegate in the new government. And Ben's curiosity led to many inventions. He got patents on his inventions so other people couldn't use them for free, but Ben didn't care about being famous or having a lot of money. He cared about making life better. People trusted him because he was caring and wise. And Ben couldn't have refused to keep leaving Philadelphia and his family to help his country, but Ben felt like it was the right thing to do. So it's no wonder that over 2 million people showed up to 20,000 people showed up to honor this great man at his funeral. And this is the chapter 8, which has things that who was Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin's wife was Deborah Reed. And Ben ran away when he was 17 because his brother wasn't a kind boss. And one of Ben's inventions was the lightning rod. And over here it's just glossary, the end.